So now that we've talked about the hepatic and the portal veins, this leads us into the basis of modern lobar and segmental anatomy. This is the basis of surgical procedures nowadays. This is the reason why surgeons can go in and remove a subsegment of the liver, let's say a metastasis in a subsegment, and not harm other parts of the liver. This is possible because of now our understanding of this lobar and segmental anatomy. Now, we've already told you that hepatic veins drain peripherally, so they are interlobar and intersegmental, therefore we use them as dividers. Portal veins feed the segments centrally, so they are intralobar, intrasegmental, and we use them to name the segments. So here we'll start with the hepatic veins as dividers. Here's a transverse section high in the liver, and we see the 3 hepatic veins coming together at the inferior vena cava. The middle hepatic vein divides the liver into right lobe and left lobe. The left hepatic vein divides the left lobe into medial and lateral segments. But this only occurs in the high parts, cranial parts of the liver. That's where the hepatic vein is. The right hepatic vein divides the right lobe into anterior and posterior sections. Okay, so now we have right and left lobes divided. Now the portal veins, they feed the segments, we name the segments, and they define the segments. Okay, so here we have a portal vein with bright walls. The main portal vein just came into the liver and immediately divided into a right portal vein, which is rather short because it suddenly splits into the anterior segment and the posterior segment. Okay, so this is the division of the right portal vein. So here is the right anterior segment, and here is the right posterior segment of the liver. And notice, here's our right hepatic vein, and here's our middle hepatic vein. This plane of separation, middle hepatic vein in line with the inferior vena cava, is our divider of the liver into right lobe and left lobe. And the right lobe is further subdivided into anterior and posterior segments. The left lobe has its own divisions. Now here, after the vein split, the main portal vein, the left portal vein has a longer course. It travels towards the left lobe and suddenly takes an abrupt anterior turn. This is the only part of the portal system that suddenly aims anteriorly. Okay, that's the umbilical segment of the left portal vein. And it sends off lateral branches and medial branches. So this would be the medial segment of the left lobe, and these are lateral segments of the left lobe. This is used as a divider. This is the only part of the portal venous system that is used as a divider. I told you hepatic veins are dividers, but this is the only part of the portal system that's used as a divider in the midsection of the liver. Okay? That's our division of middle hepatic vein dividing right and left lobes. So here we have our subdivisions on subdivisions in this case of the left lobe. I've already mentioned 3. I'd like to put them all together for you. So we have dividers of the left lobe into medial and lateral segments. High up on high sections, it's the left hepatic vein that divides the left lobe into medial and lateral segments. In the middle of the liver, it's the umbilical segment of the left portal vein, which divides the liver into medial and lateral segments. And lower down, where there are no big veins, we have the echogenic falciform ligament coming in and the umbilical fissure dividing the liver into dividing the left lobe into medial and lateral segments. So superior, mid, and inferior parts. Another point that I'd like to bring up here is about the division of the main portal vein. Precisely where the main portal vein comes in and splits, right in that line here, we can use that as another anatomic divider of the liver. If we look at the liver frontally or en face, we'll see that that part of the portal vein divides the liver into superior and inferior segments. However, so that's on coronal sections. If we look transversely, we slice up the liver, and we find that division in the middle of the liver, that will divide further into anterior and posterior segments. So the same vein, it's a tubular structure, can divide things into superior and inferior, as well as anterior and posterior. So it becomes useful. All of that put together helps us subdivide the liver into subsegments, which is useful, very useful for the surgeon, because if we can place a lesion in a specific segment, the surgeon can then go after that lesion and remove it without harming other vascular supplied segments of the liver. This is the basis of the Quino system, a French system that divides the liver into 8 segments. If we look at the liver from the front, this would be the left anterior lateral segment. Behind it would be the left posterior lateral segment. Way in the back is the caudate lobe. That's always segment 1 in any system of classification, because it kind of stands alone, so we get it out of the way. Then we see the medial segments. We have a superior and inferior medial subsegment. And when we get to the right lobe, here we have anterior superior in blue, and we have anterior inferior in purple. For you to see the back, I've rotated this liver slightly. So here's anterior superior, anterior inferior. In the back is posterior inferior and posterior superior. These segments are labeled 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's kind of an unusual system. It kind of twists around like a figure 8. Nonetheless, each segment has a number. Now, I don't think that you should learn all of these segments with numbers, because you have to know what your surgeon uses. Your surgeon may not use this classification. But if you divide and explain that it's left posterior lateral or right posterior superior, they will know then which part of the liver the lesion is in. So here's a little quiz. Name the subsegment with the cyst. Okay, this is a transverse scan of the liver. So where would you place this cyst? What subsegment? This is transverse, and here's a sagittal scan. Okay, well, I hope that you were able to see that this is the middle hepatic vein, so this is in the right lobe. And this is the right hepatic vein, so that's in the anterior segment of the right lobe. And it's up high by the large hepatic veins, so it's in the anterior superior part of the right lobe, which is segment 8. And that is confirmed here on the sagittal, where this cyst is high up sagittally rather than in the lower parts of the liver. So then you can tell, you can precisely locate this lesion.